What's up everyone, and welcome back to another What If video. It's been a little bit of time since we continued this What If, but better late than never, so let's start off with a brief recap. In the last part, we covered the events of the Cell games and how that ended. Due to Cell's rage, Goku ended up dying, which caused his own death because that led to Raditz and Gohan blitzing him and killing him. Luckily though, Goku hasn't died before in this scenario, so he was able to be revived by the Dragon Balls. The wish to revive everyone killed by Cell also revives the androids, but they've given up on the whole kill Goku thing and realized that there's better things in life than trying to just kill people and cause chaos. So their redemption begins here as well. Also, I do want to set a like goal for this video, just to gauge interest in the series. Let's see if this video can hit 3,500 likes. I think it's doable and it'll let me know that a lot of people want to see more of this, so drop a like if you want to see more. With all that out of the way, we can now continue with this part. About 7 years have passed since the Cell games, and now we're going to arrive into the Buu Saga. Over this course of time, everyone does actually keep up training. First of all, Goku and Raditz will obviously keep up with theirs, and as Goten grows older, Chi-Chi is able to keep up with her training too, as well as bringing Goten along once he's old enough. As for Gohan, well, he still has a dream of being a scholar, and Chi-Chi does want her kids to study, but she's more open to letting them train this time around. There's no reason for them not to. She actually kinda encourages it because it's some nice father-son bonding with Goku, as well as bonding with Raditz. So Gohan actually keeps up with his training this time, and he remains as the strongest fighter, with Raditz pretty close behind and Goku catching up once he unlocks Super Saiyan 2 for himself. In the last part, a lot of you suggested that Chi-Chi should get Kaioken, and over the 7 years I can honestly see that happening. If Krillin keeps training with everyone, then maybe he'd end up teaching Kaioken to Chi-Chi as well. The humans don't have those fancy Super Saiyan forms, so Krillin decides to teach Kaioken to anyone who wants to know it. Goku, Gohan, and Raditz don't see any point in learning it because they already have Super Saiyan, which is better than that, so really, Krillin only has to teach it to Chi-Chi and Tien. Yamcha's also kinda slacking on his fighting like normal, so he doesn't really care too much to learn this, but Tien sees it as a pretty useful thing, and both he and Chi-Chi are interested in learning this technique from Krillin. Krillin isn't as good of a teacher of this technique as King Kai is, so it does take a little bit of time, but they are eventually able to access Kaioken, being able to max it out around about Kaioken times 10. Krillin remains as the strongest human because he could push Kaioken to higher levels, but Chi-Chi is stronger in base, and by a pretty decent margin, so she's catching up. And in the Saiyaman saga, everything goes pretty much like normal. Gohan goes to high school, meets Videl, becomes the Great Saiyaman, all that stuff. And then we arrive to the tournament. So the tournament itself is also not really that different. In terms of fighters, Mighty Mask and Vegeta are replaced with Raditz and Chi-Chi. And yes, Android 18 is still there. After their brief meeting with the androids, Krillin was actually kinda interested in getting to know 18. He didn't fall in love with her instantly like normal, but they eventually do end up getting together, even if they are at an earlier stage in their relationship at this point in time, but that doesn't really matter too much. Just wanted to point out that she's still here. And as for the tournament itself, well, not much really changes. Everything up until the point that Spopovich is against Videl goes pretty much the same. Up against Kibito, Gohan shows off more power than he does normally, which means Spopovich and Yamu are able to get a lot more than they bargained for. They immediately go and bring it back to Babidi, with the whole group following along, including Chi-Chi and Raditz. After a little bit of flying, everyone arrives at where Babidi's ship is, and they witness Spopovich and Yamu get blown up. Babidi is pleased with the energy they brought, and then Babidi commands Dabura to deal with those pesky intruders, because they realize that other people are watching. Dabura obliges and then immediately goes to attack everyone. Out of nowhere, he appears in front of the group, and launches a full power attack at Raditz, attempting to kill him. In the nick of time, Raditz was able to turn into Super Saiyan 2 and block the attack, so he's actually kinda injured, but he's overall pretty okay. Dabura is pretty shocked that this didn't kill him, and then decides to use one of his best techniques, which is spitting. Looking around, he sets his sights on two people, Piccolo and Chi-Chi. Before Shin can even warn anyone, he spits immediately towards these two, as they begin turning into stone. Raditz watches angrily, not really being able to do anything due to his injuries, while Goku and Gohan watch terrified as they turn into stone. Goku seeing his wife turn into stone and Gohan seeing his mother turn into stone, as well as their friend Piccolo, yeah, that's not really gonna sit well with them. Almost instantly and out of pure anger, Gohan and Goku instantly go Super Saiyan 2 together, and blitz Dabura. Okay, one of them alone would be overkill for Dabura, but now that you have two of them, it's safe to say that it doesn't go too well. Seconds after, Dabura is dead. Thankfully though, this burst of rage actually saved Chi-Chi and Piccolo, since killing Dabura means they're freed from their stone. So that actually all worked out. Well, for them it worked out, not Babidi. Babidi's been watching from his ship and he's pretty scared right now. Checking the energy he got from Spopovich and Yamu, it's a decent amount, about 60 or 70%, but these guys killed Dabura instantly, and he doesn't really have any other strong fighters besides Yakan and Pui Pui, who are nowhere near the strength of Dabura, and if they were able to kill Dabura that quickly, then he's not going to be able to get enough energy. Not only that, but he's not going to be able to defend himself against them. So what can he do? Well, he always does have the option of trying to possess someone. It's just a matter of actually finding someone in the group to possess, but is there anyone that he can? He searches through their minds, and there's two of them that seem like potential candidates. Of course, Raditz would be one of the candidates, but that's not going to happen for Babidi. Unlike Vegeta, who willingly would have let himself get possessed, Raditz wouldn't really do the same, because he has no desire to fight Goku. Not only because Goku's been alive this entire time, but because he's not like Vegeta where he'd want to fight all out with Goku. And he has no ill will towards his brother, they've actually grown pretty close. And besides that same reasoning that made Vegeta turn Majin, there's really no reason for Raditz to turn over to that side. He's been fully reformed and is accustomed to his Earth life now, so he's not going to become bad again. Piccolo would be the other option, but no shot. Babidi actually does try to possess him, but that's not going to work. Piccolo also doesn't have any reason to turn bad, and with his mental fortitude, he basically kicks Babidi out of his head. It's actually kind of funny for the group because both Raditz and Piccolo have the same experience, and that means they realize that Babidi is pretty much out of options because he's trying to possess people now. They've basically already won, they just gotta go on the ship and clean up. And they do that, it's not too hard. There's Yakon and Puipui obviously, but they're easily dealt with. And Babidi uses all the magic abilities he can to try and delay everyone, but they eventually do get to him. He's just delaying the inevitable. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the Buu saga. Buu's never awoken, and the only people that died were the Majins. So it's a very successful endeavor. And that means we can continue on to Dragon Ball Super, and it's not really too different, at least in Battle of Gods. Beerus wakes up after having his dream about the Super Saiyan God, and then everyone on Earth receives a warning from Shin and Kibito knowing about Beerus' awakening. They tell them who he is and why they should be wary, and especially they tell Goku to not try and fight him, just to basically listen to whatever he says and don't get in his way. And Beerus does end up getting there with Whis, during Bulma's birthday party. And like I said, there's not really much reason for any of this to go different. The real difference is that Beerus doesn't get angered because there's no Buu there, so there's no pudding situation. But that's not going to deter him from wanting to see a Super Saiyan God. And after summoning Shenron and asking a brief question, he gets just that, because they figure out how to do the ritual and they decide to perform it on Goku. It doesn't work at first, and then they realize that they need an extra Saiyan, to which both Bulma and Videl step up. Huh, weird timing, they're both expecting kids now. And that means that there's a half Saiyan in them, and that probably would be worth a shot to try. So they try it out, and it does end up working. Goku gets Super Saiyan God, and there's not much else that changes. Really the biggest takeaway here is that Bull is going to be born a bit earlier, but besides that, there's nothing really too special about Battle of the Gods here. The changes in the story so far wouldn't really affect it too much. It's the stuff that follows which is actually going to change more. Beerus is pretty impressed with Goku and offers him a place to train on his planet. Naturally being interested, Raditz asks if he can join as well, and Beerus and Whis don't see why not. Hell, it's probably better if they had two Saiyan training with them rather than one. That just means two strong rivals for Lord Beerus. So they go off to train, and then some time passes. Everything on Earth is relatively peaceful until one day where the sky turns black. Someone is using the Dragon Balls. And that someone, well, it's not someone, it's a group. It's the Frieza Force that came to Earth, and they try to get the Dragon Balls for themselves, which they successfully ended up doing. Their main wish here naturally is to revive Lord Frieza, and although he's brought back in pieces, their wish is granted. And now they just have to deal with putting him back together somehow. I mean, you can't really be an effective emperor if you're just going to be a bunch of steak tips. They need him to be whole again. He's placed in a rejuvenation chamber and he makes a full recovery, but before heading to Earth, he decides he's going to do some training, something that he never thought he would do. It's such a nasty thing to do, but he decides it's worth a shot to train. 4 months of rigorous training actually lets him grow a lot stronger, as well as unlock a new form which he refers to as Golden Frieza, choosing the color gold just so everyone knew how powerful he was. Needless to say, he feels pretty confident and proud of himself. All that hard work actually paid off, and now he's insanely powerful. Now it's time to actually put this power to the test, so he's going to head to Earth and try to use it. The Frieza Force arrives to Earth and they're actually greeted with some company. Just like in Resurrection F, that same group of people is there waiting for them. Gohan, Piccolo, Roshi, Tien, Krillin, and Jaco, as well as Chi-Chi this time. Not only does the Dragon Team have one extra member here, but they're a lot stronger too collectively. Pretty much everyone here besides Roshi probably has had some dramatic increase in power over the past few years. Or really this whole What If in general. Not that it matters anyway, because the Frieza Force soldiers aren't really that big of a threat. They deal with the entire army relatively quickly, basically wiping out Frieza's entire army. It's impressive to Frieza that they were able to defeat his whole army, but that's not really going to cut it. They are nothing compared to him. and he is a little pissed off that Goku and Raditz aren't here, but those other two that oppose them, Gohan and Piccolo, are here, so, I mean at least 2 of the 4 people are here that he wants to get revenge on. He's pretty confident that he could take those 2 on, even in his first form alone, and this overconfidence is going to come and bite him in the ass. Gohan can immediately sense how much stronger Frieza has gotten in his first form alone, which means his other forms must have gotten an exponential increase in power. And it also seems to him like Frieza's hiding something, like he has some sort of ace up his sleeve that no one knows about. They would need to wait for Goku and Raditz to arrive on Earth if Frieza were to transform, but there's actually a chance that they could stop Frieza before he even transforms. Gohan alone in Super Saiyan 2 is probably more than enough to take on first form Frieza, as long as he could defeat him before he transforms. Frieza's pretty cocky right now and confident that he could win, so it's a good opportunity to take advantage of him. During one of Frieza's monologues, Gohan suddenly powers up into Super Saiyan 2 going all out and immediately attacks Frieza. Frieza receives a punch to the gut that knocks the wind out of him, and then with a full power Masenko, Gohan delivers a blast to Frieza that completely incinerates him. Gohan was right to act as quickly as he did because little did they know, Frieza had a new form up his sleeve that would have destroyed everyone. Well, unless Goku and Raditz were to show up. It's a good thing he's kept up with his training because he was able to go Super Saiyan 2 still, and he was strong enough to take on first form Frieza, which inadvertently prevented a global threat. This only serves as more motivation for him to keep going, and even if he's not going to be on the level of his father or even Raditz now that he's training with Beerus, it's still good to know that he's strong enough to defend Earth. Goku and Raditz eventually get word of this from Whis, and they're glad that Earth was able to handle it on its own, and they don't need to intervene, so they can continue with their training while Earth lives in peace, knowing that it has defenders. Their training's actually been going pretty well so far. They've gotten exponentially stronger and are even tapping into some new powers they didn't even know existed. It's all going very smoothly and they're seeing some great gains. However, one day, Beerus' planet gets an unexpected visitor. It looks like a fat Beerus and then a female Whis. It turns out this is Champa and Vados, Beerus' brother and Whis' sister, the god and angel of Universe 6, the twin universe of Universe 7. Champa's been snooping around this universe to try and gather the Super Dragon Balls, and Beerus isn't really happy about it. Like the two brothers usually do, they have a major disagreement and decide why not settle it with a fight between all of their universe's strongest fighters, the Tournament of Destroyers. They both agree and the date is set, and that's where we'll leave off for now. So how do you think the Tournament of Destroyers will go, and who will be on the team? How do you think the rest of Super will go in this scenario? Comment your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out and see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And remember, let's see if we can hit that goal of 3,500 likes. If you haven't already, why not subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notifications about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload to this channel. Like usual, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.